Well, today's the big day, not just for American politics with a massive election today, but also Season 23 just dropped for Apex. Did we just wake up to a massive nothing burger, or did Respawn actually save their game with some of these changes that they made? Well, I'll just give you a little hint. There's a lot of people saying that's it, that's all that's coming, and then there's also a lot of people saying this looks extremely exciting. So let's run through these patch notes. Let's talk about what you can look forward to, and you make your own decisions at the end of the video, and let me know down below. The biggest thing we have to talk about, probably the biggest change in all of this season update, are the legend changes. That's nerfs, that's buffs, and particularly the support legend. So we'll run through these firstly with Gibraltar. Dome of Protection got an update with the cooldown being reduced to 17 seconds, and it used to be 30 seconds, and it no longer can be destroyed by Crypto's EMP or Maggie's Wrecking Ball. So Gibraltar getting a individual buff, not just based on the support classes, which you'll see a little bit later on. Gibraltar just had the Fresh Start ability removed and the Shots ability removed as well. There's two new ones. One is Big Brutta, and that's going to be an increased ultimate radius by 20%, and Fast Shotties, where you can move faster with shotguns and auto-reload shotguns on your knocks. You also have another upgrade called Baby Bubble, and it now reduces the cooldown to 12 seconds instead of 25 seconds. So you can see those side by side with Shockwave, the level 2 perks, and then from the Rift level 2 perks and how they are different. They did make a dev note here saying much of Gibraltar's strength can come from the versatility of his dome. However, and from the Rift, we're removing the hard counters that Gibraltar has and allowing Gibraltar to play off his dome more frequently and utilize the new class perks more with the new Revive Expert perk coming online. We've shifted his early game upgrades to offensive choices to play off the new dome frequency or lean into the power of his ultimate ability. So Gibraltar once again getting a little bit of a buff here, and you'll see further on that support legends in general all are getting some love in this one. Specifically the next one, which is Newcastle. We got to talk about this one because it's probably the biggest change, I think, at least for the ranked play system. So Newcastle, Mobile Shield no longer takes damage. That's a massive buff. Also, Newcastle can now be repositioned even when Newcastle is downed. You can also retrieve the Wounded Revive shield HP / tier increase by 50%. So that looks like as follows. The white's 300 and it was 200. The blue's 450, it was 300. And the purple gold is 750 and it used to be 500. Also, upgrades for level 2. Thick Shield has been removed, and there's now a new one called Hero's Hustle, where you can greatly increase the movement speed when reviving. Also, another upgrade for level 3, Stronghold Castle Wall HP improvement increased to 500. It used to be 250, and an additional new Ultimate Savior, where Castle Wall grants shield regeneration to allies in impact radius. Regen effect lasts for 15 seconds, and damage will pause regen for 2 seconds. You won't begin regeneration until revived if down. So Newcastle in general going to be massive. But that's not all, because there's also a support class change here where you can see some of these perks specifically. Health Expert's going to be involved in that, where support legends can now move at full walk speed while healing, and the healing amount from small meds is now doubled. They also have Revive Expert, where support legends now have 25% faster revives, 4.5 seconds, and they'll also grant health regeneration as well on the successful revive. You also will see the support legends will also receive this health regeneration if revived. So it's not just the allies that you revive, it's also yourself. Additionally, banner crafting and ally death boxes now spawn on mobile respawn beacons. Support legends can see mobile respawn beacons inside of death boxes as well, and collecting banners will automatically take a mobile respawn beacon in an ally death box if possible. It will not replace current survival items. So if you don't have anything in the survival item slot, you'll automatically pick up one if there is one there. Just makes looting a little bit faster. But I do want to make mention that you'll no longer be able to craft banners just specifically for support legends, because it's now for every legend. So I don't really see this as a real nerf, because they are getting additional perk changes as well. They're just more so replacing the passive that used to exist with something else and giving that passive to everyone. So now it's just a base part of the game. Everyone can craft banners. Interested to see how that plays out, because now we're going into a very, very heavy support legend meta. Also wanted to make mention some crypto changes before we move into some of these other changes that they brought with Season 23. Surveillance Drone now takes ring damage, 10% per ring tick, and also he got some upgrades. Off the grid, players within 20 meters of crypto will now be able to spot a faint cloaking flicker every 1.5 seconds to help identify hidden cryptos nearby. Also, the cloaked audio range and volume has been increased. They also left a little bit of a dev note here saying Off the Grid has been a strong pick and has offered up some wild and creative new play patterns that feel on theme for crypto, but it has also come with frustrations that have felt like unfair advantages or exploitable drone behaviors. Yeah, who would have thought? I mean, we all saw the invisible cloak at the beginning when it came out and said this was going to be busted. Not sure really how that one slipped through, but these targeted changes aim to make it more possible for a crypto in your immediate vicinity and discourage ring parking patterns without taking away the core of what the upgrade has brought to the crypto fantasy. You'll still have to work to spot the glitch in the matrix, but you'll spend much less time scouring for invisible collisions with him. So interested to see how this crypto change does play into effect, but there are a lot of changes here to make mention. Also, we should make mention of the revive, right? Lifeline Reborn, Lifeline Revive, whatever you want to call it. It is now also into effect. This is another, probably the last big change I wanted to make mention of here, because you got to ask yourself, will we start to see double support legends now that they are so strong? So, of course, as we predicted, Lifeline Reborn, Lifetime Revived will hold jump mid-air to use the dock to briefly glide. So we knew she would have a little bit of a glide mechanic. Also, you can deploy dock to revive teammates, leaving Lifeline free to defend. That's her passive. Lifeline's tactical. The dock drone is still going to heal nearby allies, but dock can also be assigned to follow allies once deployed. The ultimate dock halo now exists, where you can throw dock to activate halo shield system. All players inside of this will use help and shield consumables faster, and you can see from the clip it basically looks like a Gibby bubble but without a top dome, so it's basically vertically opened, and you're still going to get those perks while inside of it. Also, you can see on screen her upgrades, which are nothing out of the ordinary, but I just wanted to make mention Lifeline is basically completely different now. Obviously, that's the whole point of the revive. That's the whole point of being reborn. Now, as we look at some of these other changes, there are some things that have definitely made people a little uneasy and some that make people a little happy. First off, the trailer got posted or leaked a little early by Apex themselves. So I'm not sure if they just scheduled it for the wrong time or what exactly happened, but they said it wasn't supposed to come out till like 11 a.m. Eastern, but it came out at like 8 a.m. Eastern. And so they had said, yeah, here's what's going on. And they were still premiering the trailer on YouTube, but it had already released on Twitter. So not really sure who messed that up. But of course, people were starting to comment things like, is that it? Like, this is seriously all that you guys were cooking. Everybody was so excited, like, oh, we haven't heard anything. We haven't seen much going on. Does this mean it's going to be something big? And then they were met with, Sweet Dreams saying this game is cooked. Duplex saying, is that it? The comments being very underwhelmed. People were not happy. On the other hand, there were some people that were pretty excited about some of these things. So one thing that I really like that they did add is whenever you're in the pregame lobby loading into a ranked game, you can now see the rank distribution of the players that are in the lobby. So it'll show 51 silver players, 9 gold players, or whatever the case may be, so you can see what you're playing up against. Now, you may see this as insignificant, not that big of a deal, but if you do notice that maybe this is a lower level lobby, you understand, hey, I can maybe int this lobby a little more. I can maybe play a little bit more aggressive. But if you know that there's a really good team, or there's a lot of really good teams, you may say, okay, let's switch it up a bit. Let's play a more support legend meta. Let's hunker down a little bit and just try to get placement here. So at least you know what you're going up against rather than it being inconsistent. I would rather have that information to know what's happening rather than being left in the dark and then trying to play your normal style just to get punished because you didn't realize that, oh, there's a 3-stack Apex Predator full squad in here that I didn't realize existed. So I really do like that change. Now, there were some people that were pretty upset about the whole legend meta change, saying that this is way too strong in favor of the support characters. So while you had some criticisms coming in from every direction, including Alberlelli, you did have some positive light as well. On one hand, he was saying instead of making ranked better, they again made it worse and just made a change that helps people feel better about their games and doesn't actually do anything to make the game better. Nice. And he was showing this because their platinum, diamond, and master entry cost has now been reduced, so you will rank up a little bit easier, and the ranked skill display have been changed so that you can see what you're going up against. Now, on the flip side, he did say overall legend changes are cool though, but support legends are now giga broken. It's Gibby time all day. We are so back. And then he also is upset about forcing E-District for champs, but you don't put it into rank. So yeah, it's not a part of the rotation for the maps anymore. So it's like, yeah, on one hand, there's problems. On the other hand, it might look like it's kind of fun. So who knows? You're going to have to jump in the game and feel it for yourself. At least it's not overwhelming negativity like these are bad changes. It's It's mostly like we were hoping for even more changes, but that was just something to keep in mind. There were a lot of gripes and complaints about the map rotation not necessarily being that good. You had Double O Negative saying, you know, we're getting the most boring map rotation. You had Sweet Dreams also saying this about E-District. Roll the clip.
There is no way I'm going for number 1 anymore. Zero chance. I literally wanted to play the game for E-District, and now it's not even there. Go fuck yourself. Brand new map. This is the first time a map hasn't been in both ranked rotations ever in the history of the game. Bruh.
Regardless, the point is the whole season may feel like a very big LTM. While it may not have the best long-term implications, short-term, it should be a little bit more fun to play, at least with all these new modes or with all these new changes going back to the OG state and being able to put like a 3x on your R99. That stuff's just going to be crazy. So when you actually open the game, you'll be greeted with the ability to play Launch Royale. Now, here's one thing I did want to make mention of. They are adding things that are, quote, OG as features, which make me think that they may bring some of these features back. Like, for instance, you'll see at the bottom where there's legend changes, they're now re-bringing or reintroducing, being able to, quote, bunny hop while healing. This is something that a lot of movement players love to do because you can make massive plays while bunny hopping, but they did patch it and take it out because it was, oh, it's too much. Are they just bringing this back to be for fun, for OG purposes, or do they see this as maybe a positive thing that players will really appreciate and really like, and it kind of, gives you that skill gap difference that you're looking for, and maybe they will implement this thing more long term. But the general changes are that you're going back to the original Kings Canyon map and POIs. The loot distribution and loot items will be original as well. Players drop with no equipment or healing items, and the armor core / Evo has been removed also. Each piece of armor is pickup only and does not evolve. Original shield swapping mechanics are now in play as well. Original ring timings and damage is literally basically just OG Apex Legends. They also reintroduced punch boosting, once again another mechanic that was fun to use, and you have to ask yourself, do they ever put this stuff back in the game? Because it is fun and players appreciate that you can make some cool plays with this, and it can be made for some really good content. Now, we've seen what has released, we've played what has released, and we've talked about the streamer, the pro players, the community members out there, their reaction to the news. Some good, some bad. I also wanted to make mention of this. You haven't really seen the I Played Season 23 early, videos and stuff, but we did get some interviews early from Respawn themselves. Movana actually sat down with one of the developers at Apex, and she went over all the stuff coming into Season 23 and asked them basically their goals in mind with this game right now. And when asked why they made such drastic changes, talking specifically about the legend changes, here's what they had to say. This is coming the lead legend designer from Respawn. We're taking a pretty bold and new approach to meta changes to make the game feel fresh and also to play differently from the previous metas. We are trying to push the support legends into the spotlight across all skill bands to encourage new strategies and shake people off their comfort picks. Admittedly, we're anxious as it's a pretty bold and spicy way that we're going after this, but we're eager to see how this approach changes the meta across the season and the split. Now, I'm not one to really promote heirlooms that much either, but the new Karambit knife does look pretty good, and honestly, it hasn't really felt very scummy or money grabby. A lot of microtransactions, buy, more skins, recolors, this. It really hasn't felt like that type of a season. It's been more one that's just, hey, we're here to have some fun. We hope you guys like these changes, but it is fair that a lot of people were saying, oh, what's Apex cooking? And I don't think it's necessarily the grandest thing ever, but I do think it's probably better than what we're just coming from. Interested to see if this will have you reinstalling the game, getting back involved. If not, what will it take? But I do think this is definitely getting people a little bit more enticed to Apex again. And so overall, that's pretty good news. Now, the weird thing, just as we wrap it up, they're actually launching the launch trailer 2 days after the season comes out. That's right. So the season's already out and you can play it now, but the launch trailer comes out in 2 days. So not really sure why or what's happened there. Now, it's not just about what's in the game now, but what is to come in the future. I wanted to add this part because I do think it's important, because this is something that many fans have been asking for a very, very long time. iLoot Games had tweeted that the Titans are coming? This has been a question many have been asking since the game first released. Will Titans ever come into Apex, considering its history with Titanfall? Most of the time, that answer has been no. No, Titans are not coming into the game. And they actually admitted they tried bringing them into the game, but that it just didn't make sense. Well, since recent leaks come out and things do change, right? They said Solos was never coming, and then it came. He now is saying that Titans are coming. So maybe we will be getting something to do with Titanfall, with Titans in the game of Apex Legends. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things inside the world of Apex Legends, news, drama, stories, and much more. And until the next time, we will see you all later.